Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's been a while since I have been on here, I know, and I told you guys just because I've been in school and school has been pretty much taking all of my energy lately, so that is just how it is and something I have to accept. And I know you guys have been wanting me to come on here, and I think I did tell you maybe over a week ago even that I was gonna be uploading a video on Marilyn Monroe. So today's video is going to be on Marilyn Monroe. So I am sorry, it's just been, like I said, really busy, but I've missed you guys so much, and I'm excited to be back on here today and doing this video for you guys. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas and it wasn't too hectic with all the family and the kids and everything. Here, it's been pretty crazy because I have 4 little ones, so it's been pretty hectic, but it's been manageable. And they go back to school on Monday, and today's Friday when I'm recording this, so not too much longer, and then I get freedom again. So if you are new, hi, my name's Hilary. I am a reiki healer, a medium psychic, and I own an online spiritual shop where I sell my own tarot decks, and I am going to be selling more stuff on there soon. But I'm currently in school, so I'm not managing my store, which is why it is not up right now, so I do apologize for that. It will be up again soon, but that is why I'm in school. I am taking business management because the store just became so much for me to handle, and so I had to get some more knowledge in regards to how to run that business. Okay, anyways, enough blabbing on about that. Let's get into the video about Marilyn Monroe. So there are many readings, obviously, about Marilyn Monroe, which is why I have not channeled her or done her yet. I wanted to do her, but there was just, like I said, so many readings, so I didn't do it. But she came to me in this instance, and so I didn't have to, sorry, but I really wanted to share that with you guys. So first I'm going to read to you about, what they have in the news articles and stuff in regards to her death and what happened to poor Marilyn. And my eyelash is falling off, so that's fine. Anyways, I'm going to read you what's in the reports from that time and age, and what I read after I did my initial reading. So obviously I know about Marilyn Monroe. Obviously I know who she is. I knew that she had allegedly committed suicide, passed away and took her own life. That's really all I knew. I didn't really know much else. I didn't really look into her case at all, to be honest, because it was just before my time. I knew lots about her, know her music. She's absolutely beautiful. And so I know about Marilyn Monroe, but I didn't know any of the facts or anything really in regards to what was said in the news and in that time frame when this all went down. So I'm going to read to you what I read after my reading. So, okay. So I wrote it down because I can't memorize all the facts for you guys. I'm sorry, and I don't have the time to do that. I love you, but I don't have the time to memorize and everything else. So Marilyn Monroe died at age 36 of a apparent overdose late in the evening of Saturday, August 4th, 1962. Her body was discovered before dawn on Sunday, August 5th. Her psychiatrist, Dr. Ralph Greenson, broke into her bedroom by smashing a window to find her, I'm going to say in quotations, apparently dead, in her bed with an empty bottle of sleeping pills on her nightstand. So the housekeeper, Eunice Murray, had awakened in the middle of the night to find a light on in Marilyn's room. The door was also locked. Murray called Greenson, worried something was wrong. Marilyn was, in quotes, nude and face down when officers came to the scene and seen her in her bed. When they got there, they were called 4 hours after she was initially found by Eunice and Greenson, and So they found that kind of suspicious, that they were called 4 hours after. When they asked Marie, so the housekeeper, why she waited so long, she said that she had to get a word of okay from 24th Century Fox, from the 24th Century Fox department. She was calm, and when they went to the house, they said that she was, Eunice, so the housekeeper, was calm, and she wasn't like, despite, Marilyn being found, and they were, she was our housekeeper for a while, from what I'm aware of, she was calm in doing laundry, and this was around 5 a.m. in the morning. So they found all these things extremely, extremely strange. So Marilyn's arms were by her side, she was on her stomach, her legs were stretched out, and her face was buried in the pillow when the officers found her. Officers found this strange because they said when someone ODs, they usually vomit and should be put on their backs. So what they were trying to say is if she had OD, there would have been vomit, and apparently there wasn't. And then when Greenson found her, he would have moved her to her back because it's an automatic, a natural response for us to do that. So they were just assuming that's what he would have done. So they found that odd, and they didn't find any. From what I know, it didn't say this in this article, but from what I'm getting intuitively, I could be wrong, they didn't find any puke around her mouth, or anywhere for that matter. So there wasn't a glass in her room or by her bed or anything anywhere, which they also found very strange, because if she overdosed on that many amount of pills, they said that she would have had to drink something with it, because her door was locked, so she wouldn't be going back. You know what I mean? They found it weird that there was no drinks there, so she could wash down the medication. So they found that very strange. And apparently, the interviews and documents and files that were conducted after Marilyn's death were also destroyed. So that's just something else suspicious that I wanted to add in there. There's a lot more that I read about this that I was like, holy moly. But I just added some things in there for you guys. Okay, so let's get into my reading. I'm sorry this is kind of a long reading today, but I do have to say my disclaimer. This is for entertainment purposes only. I have to say that, and this is only alleged, so only what my interpretations of what I am getting from my own, it's not from me, it's from my spirit guides, but this is my own, what I'm saying. This is all coming from me. This is not to be taken as facts. Okay. All right. So Marilyn came to me when I started to watch a documentary on Netflix. I was just flicking through Netflix, and I was about 30 seconds in, and then I started to get visions, which is what I usually get, and impressions and things like that, and then I knew she was coming through to speak with me. And that actually happens often when I'm watching a documentary. That's usually when I will get, sometimes the spirit will connect with me because I'm connecting with their energy. So the first thing that I began to do was remote viewing. So the very first thing, I guess, gift of mine that Marilyn began to use to communicate with me was my remote viewing. So this is where I am shown random places and things about a situation of what happened. So pretty much I get taken back to either the area or the day and the year and the time of when it all happened. And it's like a movie, and they show me what happened. That's what remote viewing is. So this could be from, so I wrote in here, this could be from my spirit guides. My spirit guides could be sending me these messages, or the spirit themselves, through this type of, I guess, impression or way that they communicate with me. So in this case, it was Marilyn Monroe. And then when she connected with me, she said, hi. And she said, I'm Marilyn. And then she said Jean or Jean. It sounded like Jean after. So Jean. And I was confused about that because I didn't know Marilyn's real name. I just knew her as Marilyn Monroe. But like I said, after my reading, I researched it. And her actual name at birth was Norma Jean Mortensen. So that makes sense as to why she was saying that. So I do like to tell you guys of the first impression I get of them. So her energy is very, like, it's very different than most. It's just her energy was so calm yet so confident at the same time. That's the type of energy she gave me. It was this very like confident and intelligent woman. And a lot of people portray her to not be intelligent because of the, you know, the image or whatever, but she's extremely intelligent. And a lot of people know that as well. But she was kind of saying, like, because I noticed that about her, and she laughed and said, well, you know, I'm not your typical, like, blonde bimbo. It was sort of like in that, she was trying to say that type of thing, okay? So I laughed, and then, you know, we did a little bit of small talk, and then I started to get my impressions from her. So I first see a tall, skinny, dark-haired man, and he seems to be at Marilyn's house because I see a flash of her house, of her flat, and she's showing me him leaving the back door of her house. And then she shows me of her in the living room, in the front room, and there's a big window, and she's smoking, and she's, you know, she's just like kind of showing me she's not in a good mood. She's bitchy, so I feel like those two just got into an argument. So I realized after what the address was, and the address of this place that I was seeing is 12305 5th Helena Drive, and that was the last place that she lived at, which she actually bought herself before she passed away. So I am shown a party. The next vision I'm shown is like a party, and she's making me feel like it's behind a concert. That's the feeling I was getting. Or some sort of celebration I wrote down. And there's definitely a lot of wealthy, famous, you know, high up people there. Because they're really high, you know, they're wearing tuxedos, they're laughing, they're drinking, they're having a good time, and everyone's socializing. So Marilyn then says to me, I hear the word backstage, and I ask her what she means, and she says, they put it in my drinks. And when I ask her what she meant by that, she tells me that there was drugs that she didn't know about in her drinks, okay? So I also hear the word after that, producer. So at this point, I'm now getting random words, which is common in my readings after my visions or throughout my visions. It's very random. It's like different things I got to put together. And that's what she had said after was producer. So I'm trying to make sense of this all, like I usually am when I do readings. And so I wanted to say also that after I did my reading, I researched the celebration I was talking about. And apparently there was like something called a Hollywood ball going on that night. And that's what she was showing me that was going on that night. So I begin to now get more visions, and Marilyn starts to communicate more with me telepathically. Not right away yet, but you will see that I start to get more telepathic messages, which means that it's kind of just straight conversation between me and her. I don't know how else to explain it besides that. So her energy, like I said, is very laid back yet confident, and I guess I just wasn't expecting that. I wrote down, she's also very sweet, and I get the impression that she is very soothing to be around because that's how she made me feel, very calm and soothing. She's very talkative, and I also begin to smell a sweet florally scent, which is very weird for me because I don't usually get smells. That's not very, I have before, especially with my relatives that have passed away. So I just found that I was not expecting that, but she smelled like a sweet florally scented perfume. So then I asked her to tell me about more what happened. And she, and I also asked her why she connected with me, and she told me she would tell me that later. So, because I was kind of confused, like, why are you connecting with me right now? Because she's done so many readings. So, So she laughs, she laughs and throws her head back, like this giggle, chuckle way. I don't know how to explain it. But she laughs a lot, like she's really giggly. And she says, "Oh, Hilary, my name is being brought up a lot again because of the new documentary, the one that I was watching. And there is still confusion about my death and my passing that I want to clear, and I want to clear the air." So she says, "I was made to look like I was crazy as part of a way to cover up what they did to me." I ask her, who did what to you? Like, what do you mean? So she shows me a vision again of the party she was talking about, and a small party, like a get together at her place too. So I don't know if that actually happened or if that was supposed to happen. I didn't read much about that after, but I think there was supposed to be a party at Marilyn's place after this Hollywood ball thing that was going on. So I ask her why she is showing me this, and she says a lot of them knew. So she said they all, but she meant a lot of the people at these parties knew what was happening to me. So I'm assuming she's saying it like this was happening to her for a while. That's the impression I'm getting. So I ask her if she means her producers, like by who, like who she was saying. I was asking her who it was. She said, I said, because I got that word from her in the beginning of the reading. She says, yes, my producer, and Russell was at that ball as well. I had no idea who she meant by Russell. I just said okay. But obviously after the reading, I researched that who she actually meant was Jane Russell, who was one of her a good friend of hers who did some acting with her. So that actress was at the party she's talking about, or this Hollywood ball, and she's saying that she knew something was going on. She shows me a vision of the dark-haired man again at her house, and she says he was at my house that day. And then I see them in my visions arguing, and once again, and then he leaves. So this time she shows me them arguing. She shows me a vision of a glass, like it flashes to a glass near her couch. She just shows me that. So it's almost like she's giving me the impression that the man that was there with the dark hair had put something in her drink, okay? So communication starts to get a little bit better with her at this point, and the telepathy starts to get better. So she said, politics and love. I was in love and with the wrong man. Yes, I was foolish, and they didn't want me to talk or speak up because of who I was with. So who she was dating at that time. I knew more than I should have known because he told me more than I should have known. And I knew about the bomb. Okay? So right away, and I don't know, I know, like I kind of know about the atomic bomb, but that's what she's referring to, okay? So these people in politics, or this guy she was dating high up in politics, had, either she overheard it or he had told her about this planned bomb that never did happen, but it was planned. Then she says, I told John I wouldn't tell anyone, but then when I was mad at him when you were arguing, I told him I was going to tell, and I was going to speak up about it, and that did not make him very happy. And I was mad. She said, I was so mad that he wouldn't come and see me that day. But then he did come, he did come to see me that day. So she's saying that they were, like, earlier that day, she was kind of saying, I'm going to tell everybody what I know, and then, like, I see a vision of her on the phone with him. It's like a black old school phone, and, she's upset because she's in love with this man, okay? And if you're wondering and asking the question, yes, this man is JFK, okay? That is who she was dating. So then I did write. So then, yeah, he ended up coming in. He did end up flying in to see her that day, apparently, because she was upset about it. So I assume that JFK was the man to put the drugs in her drink at this point. So this is not facts. This is not, she didn't even say this directly, but she's given me these impressions and these hints, okay? This is the man that was at my place that day. He was there. We argued. Here's my drink. There was stuff put in my drink, okay? That's what she shows me. So this is what I'm assuming. She says, but yes, it was happening for a while. It was planned, and people were paid to shut up. I didn't pass away at my home. And so many people knew more than what they said. I came to you, Hilary, because I advocate over here for women's rights. And we didn't have any back then. She's like saying, like, we didn't have any women's rights back then. And this is sort of in a way why this happened to me as well, because I was a woman that was going to speak up or speak about what I knew. So, she says, I guess you can call me a feminist. And she laughs again, and then she sort of like, it's telepathically. So she kind of reads my mind and what I was thinking why she told me that. And she laughed and said, yes, we can still be feminists over here on the other side. Because I'm thinking in my head, usually, you know, on the other side, there isn't, I just was thinking that people wouldn't have that viewpoint over there, but okay. So then she says, my body wasn't found the way they said it was found. That was a bunch of lies. I don't want to get into much detail about that night and any of the sexual, so she's saying the sexual acts that were going on. So she's telling me there is something sexual that happened to her, but she doesn't want to get into detail about it, understandably. But there is assumptions that were made about her being raped or sexually harassed that night, and she's saying that, she's sort of like hinting that stuff, that's in that, I guess she was, something sexual happened to her, but she's not saying specifically what it is. We don't really need to know that. But she's kind of saying that that is very true. And then she tells me some more details, and some of them she doesn't want me to say, so I'm not going to say them. But she did tell me that this was a cover-up. Like, there was a bunch of lies. People were paid to keep their mouths shut. There was interviews deleted. The truth is not really out there about her. She was telling me there's like a book or some books that do have the truth in it now, but she also wanted me to do the video and get the truth out there. So, but she's saying that there's a lot of people that played a hand in covering it up, and they're just as guilty in her opinion as, the person who did the people who did this to her. So I wasn't getting an exact person. I don't know if it was JFK himself who did this. Like, I don't know if it was just him, because she tells me that she was depressed, though. Like, she did take sleeping pills. She's like, I did do all that, but she says I wasn't suicidal, okay? So, and then she gave me the impression that there was drugs being put into her drinks, like, over a period of time. So I don't know to make her that way. So I don't know if it was just him. I didn't get that exact answer, and I didn't ask her because she kind of seemed like she didn't really want to push that far. So, she says, I was a flirt, and everyone knows that, and I know that, and I can admit to that. But no woman or person should ever go through what I had to go through. And she said, I wanted to be a mom like you. She said, "Your children are such a blessing. Being a mom is so beautiful, and I also wanted that for my life. My life was taken too soon, and that's why I came to you." She said people's feathers were all ruffled again because of the documentary, and that's why she's coming to me and wants another video done about her, or more videos done about her. So we talked a little bit more about the details. I don't want to say too much about the details because they don't really matter. But she was not actually, from what she's telling me, is that she was not actually passed away in her house. She actually did pass away either on the way to or at the hospital. So there was a lot that could have been done to prevent this. There was a lot of people lying, and the whole thing just makes me... But she's, you know, she's over there. She's over on the other side, and she's doing her thing. So, yeah. Anyways, you guys, I hope that you enjoyed that reading. I don't know. I don't think I'll be on here, like, consistently like I was. I'm going to try, but I'm, like I said, school's taking everything from me, and I'm exhausted. Some of you have messaged me about my decks. I am still selling them. I just need you to email me if you would like one, and then you can purchase it from me. I'll tell you how to. If you email me, I'll put my email in the description box below. And my store will be up again soon. And I'm also adding more things to the store. So there's a lot going on behind the scenes. But I haven't forgot about you guys. I miss you and I love you. And I will see you in my next video. Oh, and Happy New Year, everybody.